Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. Success is not comfortable. Success is not convenient. And success definitely doesn't happen between 9 and 5. While most people are sleeping, while most people are scrolling, while most people are making excuses, somebody out there is working. And that somebody could be you. The difference between winners and everyone else is not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. The difference is work ethic. Most people love the idea of success. They love the image of success. They love the Instagram version of success, but they hate the process. They don't want the late nights. They don't want the early mornings. They don't want the sacrifice. But here's the truth. If you want a life that most people don't have, you must be willing to do what most people won't do. That means working when others relax, learning when others watch TV, building when others complain, because every extra hour you invest in yourself is compound interest for your future. Think about it. Every day you have 24 hours. Some people use those hours to build skills. Some people use those hours to build excuses. Time is the most valuable asset every human being has, yet it is the one thing most people waste without realizing it. Every single day, every person on this planet receives the same gift 24 hours. It doesn't matter if someone is rich or poor, famous or unknown, young or old, the amount of time is exactly the same. What separates successful people from everyone else is not that they have more time, but that they use it differently. Most people treat time casually. They scroll through social media for hours, watch endless entertainment, or complain about their problems without taking action. They tell themselves they will start tomorrow, next week, or when the moment feels right. But tomorrow turns into next month, and next month turns into years. Slowly, opportunities disappear, and dreams remain only dreams. People who achieve extraordinary results see time in a completely different way. For them, every hour is an investment. They understand that small actions repeated consistently create massive results over time. Instead of wasting their evenings, they learn new skills. Instead of complaining about circumstances, they build solutions. Instead of waiting for motivation, they rely on discipline. Think about it like this. If someone spends just 2 extra hours every day learning, building, or improving, that becomes more than 700 hours in a year. That amount of focused effort can completely transform a person's life. Skills improve, knowledge expands. Confidence grows and opportunities begin to appear. Meanwhile, someone else who spends those same hours on distraction stays exactly where they are. Time also compounds like interest in a bank account. The earlier someone begins using their time wisely, the greater the long-term reward. A person who starts working toward their goals today will always be ahead of someone who decides to start a year later. Those small daily efforts accumulate into experience, expertise, and progress that cannot be easily caught up with. Another powerful reality about time is that it never stops moving. Money can be earned again. Mistakes can be corrected. Opportunities can sometimes return, but time that has passed is gone forever. Once an hour is wasted, it cannot be recovered. That is why successful people protect their time fiercely. They become selective about what they watch, who they listen to, and where they place their attention. This mindset creates a powerful advantage. While others are distracted, they are building momentum. While others are relaxing for hours without purpose, they are developing skills that will eventually set them apart. Over months and years, this difference becomes enormous. What once looked like small daily effort turns into expertise, reputation, and success. Understanding the value of time changes how a person lives every day. Instead of asking how to pass time, they start asking how to use it. Instead of waiting for opportunities, they prepare for them. Each day becomes a chance to move forward, even if the progress is small, and when this habit continues long enough, the results become impossible to ignore. Most people believe success begins with motivation. They wait to feel inspired, excited, or emotionally ready before they start working toward their goals. They watch videos, listen to speeches, or read quotes hoping that a spark of motivation will push them into action. The problem is that motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like a wave. One day a person may feel unstoppable, full of energy and ambition, but the next day that feeling disappears, leaving behind excuses and procrastination. Discipline works very differently. Discipline does not depend on emotions, mood, or excitement. It is the decision to act whether someone feels like it or not. It means showing up and doing the work even when the task feels difficult, boring, or uncomfortable. While motivation pushes people to start something, discipline is what keeps them going when the excitement fades. Many people begin their journey with strong motivation. They set big goals, make ambitious plans, and promise themselves that this time will be different. For a few days or weeks, they work hard and stay focused. But when the initial energy disappears, distractions slowly take over. The alarm clock rings earlier than usual, and suddenly the bed feels more comfortable. The work becomes challenging, and excuses start to appear. Without discipline, the goal that once felt so important becomes easy to abandon. People who achieve long-term success understand this pattern. They do not rely on motivation to guide their actions. Instead, they build habits and routines that force consistency. They wake up at the same time every day. They dedicate specific hours to learning, building, and improving. Even when they feel tired or unmotivated, they continue moving forward because their commitment is stronger than their temporary feelings. Discipline also creates trust within oneself. Every time a person keeps a promise to themselves, their confidence grows. When they say they will practice, study, or work for a certain amount of time and actually do it, they prove to themselves that they are reliable. Over time, this self-trust becomes incredibly powerful. It builds mental strength and resilience that cannot be easily broken by obstacles or setbacks. Another important aspect of discipline is that it removes the need for constant decision-making. Instead of asking whether they should work today or skip it, disciplined individuals already know the answer. The decision was made long ago when they committed to their routine. This reduces the chances of falling into procrastination because the action becomes automatic. Over time, consistent discipline produces results that motivation alone never could. Small daily efforts begin to accumulate. Skills improve, knowledge deepens, and progress becomes visible. While others stop and restart repeatedly depending on how they feel, disciplined individuals continue moving forward step by step. This steady progress often looks ordinary in the beginning. There are no dramatic moments or sudden breakthroughs. But as months and years pass, the gap between disciplined people and everyone else grows larger and larger. What once seemed like simple daily effort turns into mastery, opportunity, an achievement that others struggle to reach. Most people naturally choose comfort. Comfort feels safe, easy, and enjoyable in the moment. It means sleeping a little longer, avoiding difficult work, spending time on entertainment, and choosing relaxation instead of effort. There is nothing immediately painful about comfort, which is why it becomes so attractive. The problem is that constant comfort slowly steals the future without people realizing it. Success, growth, and meaningful achievement usually require sacrifice. Sacrifice means giving up something that feels good now in order to gain something far greater later. It might mean studying while others are relaxing, working late while others are celebrating, or investing time in learning when friends are spending hours on distractions. In the short term, this choice can feel difficult because it requires discipline and patience. However, the rewards of sacrifice appear over time. When someone consistently chooses effort over comfort, they begin developing valuable skills, knowledge, and experience. These advantages accumulate slowly but powerfully. What once seemed like a difficult routine becomes the foundation for future opportunities, financial stability, and personal freedom. The opposite path is much easier at first, but often leads to regret. When people repeatedly choose comfort instead of effort, they avoid the temporary discomfort of hard work. Days feel easy and relaxed. There are no late nights of studying, no early mornings of practice, and no pressure to push beyond limits. But as time passes, the consequences start appearing. Goals remain unachieved, opportunities pass by, and the realization begins to grow that valuable time has been lost. Regret is a much heavier burden than sacrifice. Sacrifice asks for effort today, but regret forces a person to look back and wonder what could have been done differently. It brings thoughts of missed chances, unused potential, and dreams that were never pursued seriously. Unlike sacrifice, regret offers no reward in the future to balance the pain. People who achieve extraordinary results understand this trade-off clearly. They know that life always demands a price. The question is not whether a person will pay a price, but when they will pay it. Paying the price now through effort, learning, and discipline often leads to freedom, confidence, and success later. Avoiding that price may feel comfortable today, but it often results in limitations and frustration in the future. Sacrifice also builds character. When someone repeatedly chooses the harder path for the sake of growth, they develop resilience, patience, and determination. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become manageable. Difficult tasks become opportunities to improve rather than reasons to quit. This mindset creates a strong foundation that prepares a person for bigger goals and greater responsibilities. Over time, those early sacrifices begin to transform into advantages. The person who once worked quietly while others rested begins to stand out. Their skills are sharper, their knowledge deeper, and their confidence stronger. Opportunities start to appear because preparation meets the right moment. What once looked like a difficult lifestyle eventually becomes a powerful source of freedom and success. Many people believe success comes from big, dramatic breakthroughs. They imagine that one day everything will suddenly change because of a single opportunity, a lucky moment, or a powerful idea. While these moments can happen, the truth is that most success is built through small improvements made consistently over a long period of time. Progress rarely comes from one giant leap. It usually comes from many small steps taken every day. Being obsessed with progress means focusing on getting a little better each day rather than chasing instant perfection. It means understanding that improvement does not need to be massive to be meaningful. Even a small step forward, repeated daily, can eventually lead to extraordinary results. When someone dedicates time every day to learning, practicing, and refining their skills, the growth may seem slow at first, but it never stays small forever. The idea behind this mindset is simple. Small improvements accumulate. When a person improves by just a tiny percentage every day, those improvements begin to compound. Skills sharpen, knowledge deepens, and confidence grows. Over weeks and months, the difference becomes noticeable. Over years, the difference becomes massive. One of the biggest obstacles to progress is the desire for immediate results. Many people start something new with excitement and energy. They expect fast progress and quick rewards. But when improvement feels slow, frustration appears. They begin to believe their efforts are not working, so they quit before the real growth begins. What they fail to realize is that progress often happens quietly at first. The early stages of growth are usually invisible, but they are extremely important because they build the foundation for future success. People who are committed to constant progress think differently. Instead of asking how fast they can reach the final result, they focus on how they can improve today. They measure success not by perfection, but by movement forward. Every small improvement becomes a victory because it proves they are getting closer to their goals. This mindset also reduces fear and pressure. When someone focuses only on huge results, every mistake feels like failure. But when the goal is daily progress, mistakes become part of the learning process. Each error reveals something that can be improved. Each challenge becomes a lesson that strengthens ability and understanding. Over time, this consistent focus on improvement builds momentum. What once felt difficult becomes easier through repetition and experience. Skills that once seemed impossible become natural habits. Confidence grows because the person can see clear evidence of their own development. Eventually, the results of steady progress become visible to others. What seemed like small, ordinary effort each day begins to produce extraordinary outcomes. The person who quietly improved a little every day suddenly appears highly skilled, knowledgeable, and successful. To outsiders, it may look like sudden success, but in reality, it is the result of thousands of small steps taken with patience and determination. This relentless focus on progress creates a powerful advantage because while others are waiting for perfect conditions or instant success, the person committed to improvement keeps moving forward. Day by day, step by step, the gap between them and everyone else grows wider. There are countless people who spend more time talking about their dreams than actually working toward them. They discuss ideas, make plans, share opinions, and imagine the success they want to achieve. Conversations about goals can feel exciting and motivating, but talking alone does not create progress. Real achievement comes from consistent action, often done quietly without attention or recognition. The modern world is filled with noise. Social media, constant opinions, endless news, and the pressure to constantly share updates can easily distract people from meaningful work. Many individuals become more focused on appearing productive than actually being productive. They announce their goals, post their plans, and seek validation from others before they have even started doing the real work. Ignoring the noise means choosing to protect your focus. It requires understanding that not every opinion matters and not every voice deserves your attention. When someone decides to pursue a meaningful goal, there will always be distractions. Some people will doubt the idea, others will criticize the effort, and many will offer advice without understanding the vision. Listening to every voice can quickly create confusion and self-doubt. People who accomplish extraordinary things learn to filter these distractions. They understand that progress requires deep focus and uninterrupted effort. Instead of spending hours explaining their plans, they spend those hours building, learning, and improving. While others debate possibilities, they are quietly turning those possibilities into reality. This approach also protects energy. Constantly seeking approval or responding to criticism can drain motivation and confidence. When someone becomes too focused on what others think, their actions begin to depend on outside opinions instead of personal purpose. By ignoring unnecessary noise, a person can stay connected to their own goals and values. Their work becomes driven by commitment rather than by the need for recognition. Execution is the true difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Many people have good ideas, but only a small number of individuals take the consistent steps required to bring those ideas to life. Execution means taking action even when results are uncertain. It means continuing the work even when progress is slow and recognition is absent. Working quietly also builds a strong sense of discipline. When effort is not performed for attention, it becomes more authentic and focused. The goal is not to impress others, but to improve the work itself. This mindset encourages patience and persistence because the motivation comes from a deeper purpose rather than from temporary praise. Over time, consistent execution begins to produce visible results. Skills develop, projects grow, and opportunities start appearing. What once looked like silent effort slowly transforms into real success. People who once ignored or doubted the work begin to notice the outcomes. At that point, the results speak louder than any explanation ever could. The individuals who succeed in this way often appear to rise suddenly, but their progress was happening long before anyone noticed. While others were busy discussing possibilities or reacting to distractions, they were steadily building something real. By ignoring the noise and focusing on execution, they turn their time and effort into meaningful achievements that could not be ignored. Success is not about luck, talent, or perfect timing. It is about how you use your time, how disciplined you stay, what you are willing to sacrifice, how committed you are to daily progress, and how focused you remain while the world is full of distractions. Most people will choose comfort. Most people will wait for motivation. Most people will talk more than they act. But the few who decide to use their time wisely, stay disciplined, sacrifice today, improve every day, and ignore the noise are the ones who move ahead. So remember this simple truth. While others are sleeping, you work. While others are doubting, you build. While others are waiting, you move forward. And one day, the results of your quiet effort will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Thank you.